Hello and welcome to Lorehammer, a special little bonus episode. I got James with me, and he's
Yeah.
and welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, Mark. It's been a few years, and it's great to be on the show because I started listening to you about must be about 4 years ago, and now to be actually on the show is a great pleasure. So thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, and we've had a nice little rapport going on recently.
Hmm.
I met you through Gothic Garnish, which I'm not sure maybe
Hmm.
that's the title of the episode, but like you're so much more than just that, you know. Yeah,
Yeah,
today's
yeah.
episode we're gonna go on a deep dive into what Gothic Garnish is on Instagram. What's your one sentence sales pitch for that?
That is. I guess that I love to bring all the different corners of 40K to life through the use of digital tools. I think it's probably the best description.
I like that. I like that. The last two words there. Yeah,
Very diplomatic.
very diplomatic. Yeah, very diplomatic. We're gonna get into that. Like you use digital tools to make art, and I fucking love it, man. Like you said, you're able to imagine so much, and just like you would with pen and paper, man, it's a whole big thing. So everyone, maybe go flick your eyes onto the Gothic Garnish Instagram because it's fucking cool. You have a huge following over there, like 60,000 people or something. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah,
yeah, that's a crazy amount of people.
yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's wild, and it's only been a year as well.
I always think about cramming that amount of people into one room, into a stadium, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's like a Taylor
That
Swift
is
concert. Holy shit.
terrifying. Yeah.
If that doesn't make you feel comfortable to Lorehammer, welcome. Yeah, hey,
Exactly,
very
exactly,
fun.
exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, today we're going to be talking all about kind of just your creative process, your general background, technical insights to other artists out there, some ethical considerations. We're going to
Mhm.
dive into that, the industry and community, and a couple other small little
Mhm.
things that we're going to get into tonight. And then we're going to have a part two to this episode, also with our friend James, about Merlin Miniatures, which is a fun little partnership that Lorehammer and that company is getting into. So we'll save that for there. I think that's a fun little teaser, enough as it is.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, yep.
All right. So, if you, wow, I normally don't do the Patreon shoutouts. How do people do them? Join the Patreon. We do ad-free versions and live streams with guest call-in. This one isn't live, but not all of them can be. So, yeah, let's join the Patreon anyways. That's my sales pitch, I think. All right, James, let's get into it. So, um, can you tell us about what inspired you to explore
Tools.
digital art?
Yeah, I'm not using the word AI, but so basically, it all kind of started off the back of kind of I was tired of looking at 500 by 500 pixel images on Lexicon of like certain of locations and the interiors of ships and that kind of thing. So I always had this kind of intrigue to explore all the corners of 40K.
Yeah.
And to you know, and sort of, you know, you read a lot in the books or in Lex, you read a paragraph and it explains the surface of a planet or the interior of a ship, and it's like, well, what does
Yeah.
it actually look like? What does it actually look like?
Yeah, you just want to microscope into it, just come on, give me a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's like you never, and it's explained in like top line detail, but it's never really explained fully. Especially when you come to like planets and planet surfaces and that kind of thing. So I had this obsession about wanting to bring these to life in a cool way that I wanted to enjoy selfishly, but other people seem to enjoy it as well. So I just thought that's how it started. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. As most kind of passion art does start, it's like you're just doing with what you can and trying to do something cool with it. Um,
Mhm.
how long have you been doing it for?
So I started Gothic Garnish about a year ago, about a
Okay.
year ago. So I made my first image in November. So not that long ago, but it's
Yeah.
it's kind of grown really really quickly. And
Well, it's interesting though in AI terms though. That's a long time though.
yeah,
And I'm sure that the difference in the year that you started now is probably quite a bit. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
AI is a different
like my
time.
first, yeah, when I first started out, the tools that were available to you were like super limited. But now
Yeah.
it's crazy what you can do. I mean, I'm sure everyone's seen it,
Oh
like
yeah.
the deep fake stuff and all that kind of thing. The tools you have available to anyone, not just like specialists, is incredible. I mean, you can make a full length film now, basically.
Yeah, no, it's so crazy, man. So
Mhm.
then how would you define your AI art in your own words? Because I just define
Um,
it now differently. Yeah, I should have said digital.
yeah, digital tools. No, like so. I guess firstly, like, and this is something that we discussed before the show, is like that I wouldn't actually call myself an artist or anything that I create art. And I think that's off the back of kind of conversations that I've had with a lot of artists that follow me. And I've had like, sort of these positive and negative conversations with artists in my DMs and that kind of thing. And off the back of that, I've kind of made this agreement with myself and with the community that I'm not going to call anything I do art, mainly because I agree that it's not art, but also because I don't like. I think that term is reserved for the specialists in that field and for the people who we know and love within GW, for instance.
Man, I get what you're saying. I disagree, man. Like let me let me run this past you. So like seems like art is made by humans, but have you ever been to the zoo and there's an elephant there that paints some art? And we call that art. And it's
That
sloppy
is
and it's
true.
not
Lazy.
conventional, but it's yeah, but it's still art, man. I don't think you give yourself enough credit. I've tried messing around with these tools and I can't do it. And also I think about like, okay, so if somebody painted their very first Warhammer mini and it's like
Mhm.
I don't know. It's not good. Is that still art? Does art have to be a certain thing? Art is subjective. It's just whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's completely true. I think art is subjective, and I think you're right. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe it's how much of how much of automation is involved or how much of artificial intelligence is involved. People get a little frightened of it, and people start calling it. They move away from the term art, but you're right. Like what is art? I mean, it's theoretical. It's what is it? It's subjective, just like you say.
The only other argument I guess I have for you is like, okay, so when AI robots replace electricians, can I no longer call my electrical work electricianing, or can they not call theirs electricianing? I just think, man, what you're doing, you're bringing to life something that wasn't there from your imagination, and you're inspiring other people to do it. So
Oh, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it is. And you know what? Like it's like this conversation has only been happening for the last probably 2-3 years that people have been having this
yeah.
debate, and it's still happening. And like I'm involved in it a lot online and that kind of thing. And it's fascinating, and it's a brave new world, not just for art. Yeah, yeah.
So, what tools do you primarily use to create these images and videos too?
Yeah. So video is kind of the most exciting part of AI at the moment. Like you can create like feature length or feature quality video from your laptop in your bedroom. Do you know what I mean? It's a brave new
Crazy.
world. But I personally I use probably about 10 different programs depending on what's required. So I use like Midjourney, Magnific. I use like AI video program like Kling, Dream Machine, Photoshop, CapCut for editing, Immersion AI, Illustrator, amongst other things. So it depends on what I'm doing. If it's like the interior of a ship versus a space marine, then they're different things because you have to put a quitters on the space marine. You have to remove the sixth finger that's always on the hand and that kind of thing.
Interesting. Yeah. So, like different programs just kind of do maybe the simplest way would be like one program does backgrounds very well and one program does like people really well, or how do you kind of choose which program to use?
Yeah, so like one's really good for like details, one's really good for animation, one's really good for editing. But these aren't all AI, of course. This is editing software, and this is like video like production stuff and that kind of thing. So it's not all AI that I use. Obviously, it's only a small part of it, but I'm sure we'll dive into that later.
Yeah, like Photoshop, CapCut, I've used both of those before. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what makes it super cool too. And that's why, I'm giving you that extra little art point, is because you're adding those extra little details and stuff. You kind of mentioned that six finger. That's what most people kind of think of, but you go in and you remove that
Mm-hmm.
six finger. You look at the side of that Space
Mm-hmm.
Marine pauldron and you're like, that's not quite right. Let's make it a bit bigger. And you'll go and Photoshop it up, or however you end up doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I really like about your work, is it's very lore accurate. And you even said reading Lexicanum articles is kind of, that's where you're like reading and you're like, I wish I fucking knew more, which means you really know the lore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it.
Is that was kind of like one of your goals, to be as like lore accurate in your mind as possible? Do you ever really venture outside of the lore when you're creating stuff?
Yeah, so like I'm fascinated by the lore. Like I'm a lore guy over like the miniatures themselves. Like I love the stories, and like the Warhammer 40k universe is like the perfect sandbox for me to play in, because there's so many. We all know, who listen to this, like the amazing stories and the narratives that weave through the whole universe, and they're amazing. And there's this, it's like endless opportunities to explore, and that's what I love. Like from like a minus on a planet, to a planet's surface, to an invasion, to the inside of a ship, to the inside of a a Terminator, to like what's it like to drive a Thunderhawk gunship. Like these are all things that you can explore in a way that's just endless, and that's what I love
Yeah.
about it. It's so grim, dark, and punk and metal. I just love it.
Some people go outside, but I say no, go to Gothic Garnish Instagram. Explore the inside of a Thunderhawk. Come on.
Exactly. I mean, what could be better on a Saturday night than explore the inside of a Thunderhawk gunship?
Fucking love it. Yeah, man. Like, it is scary what's gonna happen in the future when we can start getting brain chips and like actually be inside it. But that's a conversation for another time. We're
Yeah,
not quite
exactly.
there yet. But I'm happy with what's happening currently. Yeah. So, how do you approach the creative process when working with AI? Like, we mentioned you like the lore. Like, is that kind of what happens? You're reading a Lexicanum article and then you're like, I need to see more of that, or you should. What's the process here?
Sure, yeah. So the process starts with like quite a deep research phase. So let's take, for example, I did a Tyranid bioship, like the interior of a Tyranid bioship. So where do you start in terms of mapping out how that looks inside? So you immediately do research. So there's the Devastation of Bard by Guy Healy. There's some really good sections in that that describe the inside of a bioship. There's Storm of Iron by Greg McNeil. There's even like games like Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2. But I think the main one was Warriors of
Sure.
Ultramar. There's a really good section when a kill team enters into a bioship and then confronts, all the eggs and stuff, and it's really like visceral description of what it's like inside a bioship, and it's amazing. So what you do, you take that, you take bits of Lexicanum, you take bits of Reddit as well was really good for this, like people's like theories on how it looked,
Okay.
and you take all these different touch points and bring them all into one place, and then you take out the key ones. So take out things like, like Tyranids are kind of crustacean like, their armor, they're definitely a nod to the Alien franchise. There's a biomechanical element. So you pick up all these really important touch points for all these different references, and then you put it all into the pot, and then you bring it out into your prompting, and then you see what the images are, and you start spitting out images, and like you probably get through 100 images per actual final one. But that's probably the ratio, 100 to 1 of actual decent ones you could use.
Okay. Wow, that's quite the interesting ratio to know. The prompting is interesting. Like, yeah, you say you're just punching in that kind of information and stuff. But it's so much more than that. Like, you have to word it the right way. There's like special ways to prompt.
Yeah,
It isn't just like copy and paste Lexicanum in there. There's very special ways and different ways to prompt and come up with something.
no, that's what that's what I'm saying is that you have to kind of um, pull insight from loads of different places to get it accurate, and then obviously there's some space for creativity within that, but you have to kind of pull it from loads of different sources. And yeah, for sure, there's definitely prompt engineering. But for me, I think the bigger
Yeah.
thing almost is like the research and the love it takes to do these and make sure that it's lore accurate, because we all know the 40k community, like detail is valued.
Yeah, they're a little out there. If you
Yeah,
get something wrong, they'll jump. But unless it's something
yeah,
really important, then they don't care sometimes, so whatever.
exactly.
So, how do you kind of balance like your creativity with the machine's input in your work? Like like I said, it's not just putting the Lexicon into the prompter. Like, do you have some specific ways you like to generate stuff, or is it that deep even?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, definitely. Like there's definitely like a human element. And I think like just the production of the images is just a very small part of it. You know, like there's all the research it takes before that to make sure, especially in 40k community, you have to be accurate. Just like you said, you've got to be accurate. And otherwise people just will completely disregard you, you know, like you need to really pay respect to the source material. And then once you kind of
Yeah.
once you kind of create those images, you have to kind of make sure that um, they are faithful, and then obviously do the editing as well to make sure it's even more faithful, and then you're finally happy with putting something public, you know.
Like the editing as in like swapping an Aquila on somewhere, or like touching up that six finger that we talked about,
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
yeah, exactly. The six finger Aquilas,
Yeah.
removing random objects in the sky, also adding things like adding ships, like adding bits of armor, changing the color of pauldrons, changing the color of arms and legs, and all that kind of thing. So that's super time consuming, especially when you're working like custom chapters and stuff, and chapters that have a little bit of a regular.
Yeah, for sure. And that goes back to knowing that lore where you need to know, okay, did I put that symbol on the left or the right? Because if I don't get it right, someone's going to say something.
Someone's gonna hate me for it.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like, well, you must get like double the hate because people are already all uppity about AI, and then
Mhm.
also then you stack that on with Warhammer players, then you got the double dose of it.
Yeah, for sure, definitely, definitely. And that's probably why I'm so paranoid about making sure it's right. You know.
I don't worry about it. Yeah, and then you post it to your Instagram. Do you post it anywhere else?
I've got like I've I've just started to venture into TikTok, but it's a bit of a cesspit. But yeah, it's cool. Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
It's cool. It's really good, and people are reacting really well there. I mean, I get the usual comments, but no, it's great. It's going really well. It's growing quite nicely over there.
What about YouTube Shorts? Is that anything you would ever do?
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows in the future? I might look at
Okay.
YouTube. Who knows? I'm not sure yet.
Okay. Okay, no answers, no secrets revealed. All I know from personal experience is, you're already doing it. Might as well sign up to all of them. Do them all at the same time. You get a
That
process.
is true, actually. Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like you said, it said it the best, man. I read so much 40k lore, and then I recite it all to you guys, and I'm trying to, when writing the notes, I'm trying to describe it, and man, I'd much fucking rather just look at it, to be honest with you.
And this is it, man. It's like, and the scale of 40k writing and the way they describe things, it's just so gigantic. It's ridiculous. Like when they like flattened a whole continent just to do a march, like a victory march.
Yeah.
It's like how do you visualize that possibly? Like, and it's this kind of thing. Like, it's this juxtaposition I want to explore. Like, but how can you visualize it? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. How long does it take to normally make an image? Like, I know that's like, how long does it take to paint a miniature? It varies so much, but like,
I mean, probably like from research to having it done, probably like for a set of a few images. I mean, like video is a whole different thing. So you need to do all the video editing and then change it all and stuff. But probably like it's a day's work, probably half a day's work to get it to a place where like it's all done.
okay, that's so crazy, and yeah, and that's another little bit of that. Like, okay, um, that art in there. Because yeah, you said it generates 100 images, but it's up to you to kind of choose which one is the best, the most fitting, or which one you can build off of.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like as I say, 100 images, but it produces like a handful of images at a time. So you kind of work through those 5, and then you find one you like, and then you do another 5, then another 5, then another 5, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. And then you find like 20 you like, and then you edit those 20, then you find 5 you like, and then you find like a couple you like, and then you turn that into a video.
Crazy.
It's super long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like, so you're editing, how do you like define your artistic style? Do you have one that you kind of go to, or is that kind of the nice part about AI where you can jump your style very easily?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think the whole thing that I aim for is as realistic and photorealistic as possible. I mean, why wouldn't you want to see all these things but in as high quality as possible? Because like
1080p.
yeah, like I don't want to see an anime version of a space marine. I just don't want to see that. But what I do want to see is like
Okay, not your style at all.
yeah. Well, like I want to see like as real life as possible, because I think that's what's interesting. Is that's when you can kind of get to the point where you can imagine yourself there, or and that's the exciting bit. It's like, well, what's it like to walk through the corridors of an Imperial battleship? Like, what is it like? And then you can do that.
Yeah, man. So you're totally gonna get plugged into the machine when it comes out, hey?
100%.
That's your end goal.
Yeah, I'm getting hooked
Yeah,
up.
no retirement fund, just plug you in when you're 65.
100%. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but I'll ask just for everyone else. What themes or subjects do you often explore the most when you're doing your art? Like, do you primarily stick to 40K or?
Yeah, it's pretty much always 40K. I mean, I do quite a lot of Necromunda stuff. I mean, we worked together on that Necromunda stuff not long ago, and then there's like I do a bit of Warhammer as well, like as in fantasy, and then that's pretty much it really. I sort of stay within like those kind of realms, really. I mean, but it's 40K
Yeah.
mostly. It's like the sandbox, so that's all I want to stay in.
But it's nice to know that there is some fantasy stuff in there too.
Yeah. There is some fantasy out there somewhere, definitely.
Do you consider AI generated art to be a collaboration between humans and machine, or something else? Let me ask you this: how many times have you and the machine got too intimate with each other?
I always do all the appropriate rites before I do any computer stuff. So I light a candle. I sprinkle the sacred oils on my keyboard. So
Perfect.
don't worry.
Okay. Oh, so it's almost like a trifecta, it's got you, the machine, and it's got like the ambiance, and the 3 combined can make one badass video.
Exactly. And I get so many comments about like, especially if I do a post about like the Mechanicum, and everyone's always like abominable intelligence, blah 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 blah. And I completely get the irony. Honestly, I really do.
That's so funny. I have noticed that. That's so funny.
Yeah, they're like every single time, especially Mechanicum.
Well, fine. So from now on, you can only do the Tomb World AI bot that runs the world. That's the only image you can generate from now on. Just to appease them,
Yeah, exactly. Just stick to that. Play it safe.
Yeah, no more Mechanicum stuff. I get it. Abominable. But what about this guy? This isn't AI. Come on. Votan stuff's also allowed, I guess. So good.
And that's true. And isn't, I mean, heretical thought, but isn't the machine spirit just AI?
Hey, somebody get him. Yeah, man. No, absolutely. We have that conversation all the time. We're like, yeah, is it AI or is it like demon possession? But man, demon possession is something different. We know tentacles grow out of it then. Like, yeah, is it? I think so, man.
Yeah, this exactly it.
I love the story of that one Crimson Fist Land Raider, Rin's Might, where it goes on for like a week destroying orcs without any pilots in it.
Yeah. This is exactly it, man. Like that's what makes you believe that it is actually AI the whole way through, and it's sitting there in plain sight.
I joked like, is it a collaboration process between you and the machine? But also, man, it's a collaboration with you, the machine, and the people who built the machine. Just like we just kind of joked about that Rin's Might going on the rampage. Well, like, man, if the Mechanicum didn't pour their labor into building that, crafting that, mighty piece of Land Raider, like it would have never done that. So there's like that third element involved. You ever think about like the coders and what they are hoping you do with this, or like I don't know if that kind of makes sense, but
Yeah, no, it does for sure. And like, and there's a lot of things that go into it. There's a lot of like naturally, one of the things that always comes up is that, you know, the way AI is created, that it scrapes artwork from all over the internet and that kind of thing, and that's how it repurposes it. It scrapes like millions of pieces of artwork, and then that's how you can produce images yourself. And, you know, so anything I create is off the back of other people, and I think that's one of the main conversation points and debate points that often come up. Is like, is that ethical? And I don't know, is it ethical? That's a debate, not for me to answer, because I don't want to be a pariah, you know.
yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I look at it this way. It's like, okay, so then what? Can I not use fucking algebra? I didn't invent algebra. Can I not drive cars anymore? I didn't make a
Yeah.
car. Hey,
Mhm.
I'm coming and taking back my electricity, you sons of bitches. Like, you didn't wire that. Like, where do we draw the line? I think, there's the cumulative like achievement of man, and like this is one of it.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, it is. And then like there's AI will always, I mean, like, look, it's progressing at an insane pace, and we could all see it. I mean, look at like Trump this week. He's just signed off billions of dollars to go into like AI infrastructure across the whole of the US.
Yeah.
Like this is Skynet. Like, I'm not fear mongering,
Don't
but it
say
is.
it.
Like it's been part of healthcare, military, everything. It's gonna be intertwined in everything.
Yeah.
And I'm not fear mongering and all that kind of stuff. But it's just a really interesting time, and I think I'm intrigued about where it's gonna head.
Yeah, there's a billion bad places it could go, but also there's a billion good things that are going to come of it. Um,
Hmm.
like, I know for me, even like I've used it for quite a bit of stuff, and like, managing emails or just basic stuff, even, or writing the odd little like episode description type thing, whatever. Like, it's
Hmm.
so helpful, man.
Yeah, yeah, completely. And
I
like,
think like for you, like, to me, the biggest complaint would be like, okay, you're taking actual people and then you're photoshopping them in. As much as I want to see the Henry Cavill custodies, I feel like if you start doing that, that's maybe crossing the line of the ethical
hmm,
bounds, which,
hmm,
that's pretty obvious. So
yeah, for sure. And I think like doing any kind of crossover just really annoys me. Like I see a lot of people do like a Darth Vader as like a space marine, and that really,
yeah,
it
no,
really
and then
bothers
and I
me.
think that's why I really like your stuff, is because I look at it, man, and I never see flaws. And like, as one of the hosts of Lorehammer, that all I do is read lore and just try to
Hmm.
pick it apart and make fun of it. So it's like, no, you're just so bang on with the details of it.
Thank you so much. That's a very kind thing to say. So thank you, Mark.
Yeah, man. Like, I once again, I think people need to look at the Instagram. I know a lot of people make like quick judgments. They see, couple shitty AI artworks or whatever, and they think that's what it is, and it isn't, man. But whatever.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely. And like I think a lot of what you see, and I'm gonna be honest with you, like a lot of the AI art that I see makes you want to scratch my own eyes out, and it's inaccurate and it's poor and you know, and a lot of it is just Space Marines, and I think there's, you and I both know, there's a whole, such a rich universe out there for you to explore, that's so much more than just Space Marines and Primaris, of course.
Like, when I look at that Space Marine and his knee pad is painted a certain way, I want to go know why, and then I look it up, and
Yeah,
if it is not right,
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
pissed. I'm pissed
Yeah,
off. So yeah, no,
exactly.
I hear you. So how do man? How do you respond kind of to the criticism of this industry and field you kind of found yourself in?
Yeah, so it's an interesting one, and I'm being fully transparent here that 99% of the negative comments I get are from artists, and I completely understand. I completely get it. You know, that it's a sense of threat, and there's a lot of conversation around AI, and it's a very a divisive topic, and I completely get it. I really really do, but I think the argument that I often, not the argument, but the discussion that I often have is that AI is a hugely important and valuable tool. Like, for example, if I were to, well, often when I speak to an artist, there's so many ways that you can use it. You know, you can use it to streamline your social posting. You can animate, like if you're a still artist, why not animate your paintings or support your marketing or copywriting? There's a million different tools, and most of them are free that you can use. So it's up to you if you kind of go AI is bad and that's it. But why not, as an artist or a miniature painter, use AI to your advantage and use it to promote your work? And I think there's a really valuable thing there. And I think to put your head in the sand would be, it's a shame because there's so many amazing tools that you can use to help your work and get it out there.
Yeah, I hear that for sure, man. Like if it wasn't such a long process, like I would try to sync up my episodes with yours, but I put way more talking. Talking's a lot easier than building art. So,
Yeah, for sure,
um,
absolutely.
but yeah, no, like yeah. How often do you find you post on your platform on
I
Instagram?
pay, probably like, I used to post every day, but it was getting a lot. It was getting a lot to do, and as you can imagine, like I have a job and three kids, and so it's tricky to kind of stay on top of it. So I've gone to like every other day, um, which seem to be the cadence that works for me at the moment.
Cool. Yeah. So how how do you see this evolving in the next 5-10 years? Like you said, you've been doing it for 1 year. Do you think you'll still be doing it in a couple years, or it's going to be a different game by then, or what do you see happening?
Yeah, sure. So I think that's a really interesting question. That I think imagery has got to where it possibly can do. I mean, it is photorealistic. It is like a photograph now. But I think what's exciting is video. I mean, like we are, I think we're at the point now where we can almost make a feature length film or a TV series just purely from AI. It still looks a bit gadgy in places, so it's not quite there. But I think within at least a couple of years, we'll be at a place where you can completely make a movie just from AI, which is really exciting. And people can do it in their room. It's crazy.
Yeah. So do you have any goals of making a movie, or like do you typically just make kind of 10-second clips, or you're waiting a little bit more for that Donald Trump AI investment money to kick in, then bam?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I would love like my long term aim is to make a little short film. So do like a 20-minute thing. I would love to do that. I'd love to do that. But the moment the whole like bite sized things work for me, but I would love to invest my time and go into a full kind of short film would be amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And I imagine, like you kind of said, that's a time thing. You like to do a full video like that, that's a huge, huge thing. And then you'd have to put everything else on the back burner. And
Yeah, exactly.
maybe one day when you're retired, we'll get there.
Yep. Yeah, yeah.
Um, how has working with AI changed your perspective on creativity and art? Do you draw or do you paint? Like you said, you don't do minis. Did you ever draw as a kid or anything?
Yeah. So I drew a little when I was younger and all that kind of thing. But really, like I'm more of like an ideas guy. Like I kind of have like a vision in my mind, but I don't have the technical skill to be able to use a pen and paper or all that kind of stuff. And I found a way to be creative and use whatever tools I have
Yeah.
available to me. And it happens to be this. And I'm super thankful for it because it's like I never thought I'd be able to be a creative in that way, but I can be now. And I think there's a lot of young people who, or any age, who feel the same. Like they've been given this opportunity to be creative, and I think that's a huge thing, and that's lovely for people to
Yeah.
feel who never used to be. And that's what kind of bothers me when people kind of like gatekeep creativity. Like it's up to like why tell people that they can't be? Why not let people
Yeah.
enjoy it?
Yeah, as long as you're lore accurate, I 100% agree with you. But you got to be lore accurate.
Yeah, you have to be like, if you're not law accurate, just stop being creative.
Stop your creativity.
Yeah,
Be gone. Yeah, no, I kind of think like You got farmers, and people are like, oh, if you're not farming with a hand till, if you're using a combine, you're not a real farmer. Like, what are we talking about? We use machines all the time. Like, and let's
Hmm.
just accept it, people. Um, yeah, no, it's cool to kind of, like you said, just be able to use this creative ability that like everyone how can tap into. Everyone does need that access to a hobby that they can do.
Hmm.
So it's super cool that way.
No, it's amazing. It's lovely, and like,
And like one thought too is like I know we've been talking about AI art, but there's also like chatbot, go talk to Chat GPT-4 or whatever.
mhm.
And you can come up with beautiful stories if you want. You and it can write a collaborative poem together about cats in a bell tower if you want. I don't fucking care. You can do whatever you want with it. It's your fucking AI thing.
Hmm.
But that's just another outlet of that creativity. And once we get the smells locked on, once we know how to smell stuff through screens, we can get the AI we'll get all types of cool AI stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Just imagine. Yeah, absolutely. And like, it's funny, isn't it? It's sort of all like started with like Chat GPT and started with text and people writing, asking it things and stuff, and now it's progressed so far to where it is now, and it is fascinating. And you can,
Yeah.
and you almost see like movies with scripts that are written by Chat GPT. Not naming any names, but you can kind of see movies that come out that have particularly poor scripts. And they're like, someone in somewhere in some boardroom has written out on Chat GPT. And it's entwined in our whole culture.
Yeah, for sure, man. So next kind of thought, how do you get around like any copyright infringement? Because like I said, you're doing like images, and normally that is reserved for, it's not necessarily allowed and stuff.
Yeah,
Like we,
yeah, yeah.
I just think of like the Astartes guy where they kind of shut
Mhm.
him down maybe and then kind of hired him, or however that all played out. I don't know. I wasn't there, but like there's a couple of YouTubers that kind of had that copyright thing going on. How do you avoid that?
Yeah, so with me, like, I don't monetize in any way on my page, so it's what I do isn't for profit, and it's not for any other reason apart from just to enjoy what I do, and explore the universe, which is super enjoyable, and it's something that I honestly really really enjoy, and I've got a huge amount of respect for uh, Astartes, of course.
So I guess my final question for you on this topic before we jump over to your other project is there one type of image you wouldn't generate in 40K? Like you're not going down the Slanish trail. That's the easy one. But what are your thoughts on that?
What an image that I wouldn't create.
Yeah, like and even you could be like if it was me, I would say I'm never creating a Primaris image. I'll go down every other rabbit hole you want, but Primaris, get fucked. Like, do you have any hard lines like that?
Yeah, yeah. For me, it's any kind of crossover with any other franchise of any type. It's like nothing annoys me more of like a Friday the 13th themed Space Marine, or like a Darth
Okay,
Vader
okay.
Space Marine. It's just like it just makes me feel funny and angry when I see that kind of thing, because it's the opposite of what 40K is about. Like 40K is like grim and dark, and it's very like its own atmosphere, it ain't
Yeah,
Star Wars.
man. That's so funny. Okay, no, that's a good answer. That sums it up. And I know you kind of said that before, but yeah, yeah. Anywhere else, go dip your little toes in to explore this little neck of the universe. See what's under that rock. I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there anything else you want to mention about Gothic Garnish or?
No, just I mean, I guess like thank you so much to everyone who's supported it so far, and like you can hit me up on Instagram and TikTok, and I'm always up for a good debate. And if you've got any questions about anything, just hit me up, man. I'm always up for a conversation. I'm here.
Yeah, very cool. Are you on the Lorehammer Discord?
Am I? Yes, I think so.
Oh, okay. Well, you can find them there too. You can go poke your head in there and go hello when I release this episode, and talk to people there too. So let's jump over to our other kind of thing that we're going to talk about tonight, and that is Merlin Miniatures buying and selling minis, man. All right. I've been told for years since I started doing Lorehammer that, like, hey, man, I listened to this episode and I went and I bought an army. So I got thinking, we need to start selling some minis. Not me though, because I'm not responsible. I'm just here to shit talk online. But you're in the business of selling miniatures, and let's jump into Merlin Miniatures and sell us on your minis. So when people listen to that Armageddon episode I just did, they can go buy Steel Legion from you, because I feel like one of your cool things that you guys do is you sell old out of print minis and stuff. Like you hunt them down, you source them, and then you sell them. Like I was looking at some Lord of the Rings shit the other day, and I'm like, oh man, that thing's fucking 20 years old. And then I was bought baby stuff instead of a mini.
Yeah, I know how that feels, man. But yeah, so Merlin's Miniatures is kind of a UK based sort of secondhand miniatures business. I've been kind of collaborating with Merlin for about a year, and they're lovely guys over there, and I often kind of write articles for them, and it's a real pleasure to work with them. And like you say, they've got like this amazing selection of like old school models. They've got like the old kind of 1988 metal models, and they're still in their blister packs. So it's a real blast from the past when you used to walk into Games Workshop when I was a kid, when I was 11 or 12, you can still get those packets like you bought them like back then, and it's amazing. So yeah, like Merlin's a real great place to find a kind of older
Yeah,
and
man.
newer stuff.
The smell of those lead minis, man. There's
Yeah,
nothing like it
yeah,
as you scrape it off.
yeah. It's so good, and the weight as well, man. It's like, I don't know, it's something about it, isn't it? The
The
weight of
weight,
a
yeah,
metal
man.
miniature.
Yeah, man. Just imagine rolling a metal dice. It's a similar feeling of slapping down a metal mini on a game board, man. Like, yeah, there's weight to it. There's power to it.
Yeah, there is, man, and also like I was in their warehouse the other day, and he showed like they showed me they've got a unbuilt 1997 all metal um, Thunderhawk gunship
Oh, cool.
that they haven't built yet, and and it's in this like wooden chest that you have to like open slowly, and it's got like all like metal bits on it. It's got like each one is numbered, and literally like apparently a lot of people say that it's the hardest kit to build that they've ever released
Yeah,
because
I've
it's all
heard
metal.
that.
You have to use like a welding torch on it and stuff like that, and
Yeah, just imagine gluing 50 pounds of metal together. Like, fuck.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like it's so heavy. Like that is like it's the weight of a car by the time you're finished.
You kind of skimmed over like real quick, like so this is like a serious operation. You're not just some dude online trying to hustle some minis out of his basement. Like Merlin Miniatures is a huge, I don't know about huge, but you got like 20,000 units in stock. You have a warehouse, you got staff, not you, but like the company. Like it's a serious operation. So how did you kind of get involved with them, and what does that kind of look like, the company?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, so like Merlin reached out to me as Gothic like quite early on, and we've been sort of like collaborating for some time though, but and it's been really inspiring to work with them. But um, we also do kind of like these kind of spotlights on creators as well, which I love doing. So we kind of spotlight talent within the hobby, so painters, sculptors, all that kind of thing within the hobby, and we kind of highlight them on our socials and that kind of thing. And that's what I lead as well, which is great, and it's a great way to kind of give back to the community as well and share some
For
love.
sure.
And then we've got some really exciting campaigns coming up as well with creators as well.
Cool. So they're not just selling minis. There's some other things going on there too. Although, like I said, man,
Oh yeah,
I listened to this episode. I'm gonna go buy some minis. Go buy them from Merlin Miniatures. Like that's what you gotta go do now. And it will benefit everyone involved here that you're hearing.
absolutely.
Who are your primary customers? You mentioned it's UK based. Can I ship minis down to Panama? Can I get that Lord of the Rings mini I was eyeballing the other day?
Absolutely. Yeah, yes. So we've got worldwide shipping. So you can send the miniatures anywhere you want in the world. So yeah, whatever you
Perfect.
need, fast and secure packaging.
Yeah, that's fucking tight. So you kind of just are, you're not like in the warehouse like shipping stuff off or whatever. You're more on like the creative. marketing team, maybe. You know, I don't think you have an official title or anything, but like,
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I'm here to like it's a collaboration between myself and Merlin, and we support each other, and we I write articles for them. I help them out with kind of these sort of
ooh,
spotlights and stuff, and it's been a great relationship with the team, and they're super passionate about what they do, and they truly love the universe and all that kind of stuff, and that's kind of reason why we've worked together for such a long time. We've worked together for over a year now, so. They've been such great people to work with, and I'm really looking forward to what else they've got coming up,
yeah,
and
yeah.
what other stuff is coming out.
Do you live locally to them?
Yeah, yes. So I live in Brighton, which is a little seaside town in the south of the UK. It's very cold and wet at the moment, unlike Panama, probably. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then they're based like about half an hour from me. Yeah. So it's all pretty close, and they've just got a new site as well. So they got like a big new warehouse space and stuff. And I love going there because it's got so much amazing stuff on the shelves, and you just can't help but explore.
Sweet. So this warehouse space is actually like a store too, then? Hey, like it's not just like a shipping place regular people can go in, or you got that special access?
Oh yeah. So I pop down there quite often and see the guys, and they got like racks of like these amazing miniatures from like the 80s, 90s, all the way through, and it's a proper journey through the hobby. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. What future plans do Merlin Miniatures have to explore new directions, such as creating custom minis? Is that ever going to be a thing with 3D printing? Maybe are they doing anything like that?
Yeah, so we've got some really exciting stuff coming up. So we've got some some campaigns, some like charity campaigns we really want to get into. We're also hiring a studio painter. We've got
Oh,
the
cool.
actual bricks and mortar store that's opening very soon, and we've got loads of artist collaborations, and of course loads and loads and loads of amazing minis as well coming on sale.
Cool.
So yeah, loads of stuff coming up
Yeah, no,
for
that's
sure.
sweet. That's a lot of cool stuff happening, man. Like storefronts are so fun, man. I miss going to them for sure. I don't miss a lot from the old world, but yeah, nerding out over some dice and hanging out with some friends for sure.
No, definitely, and they've invested in a life size Lurtz to sit in the shop as well. From Lord of the Rings, the Urukai.
Yeah,
So
of
he's
course.
terrifying. So if you make it down, you can see him in the flesh. Yeah, man flesh for sure.
You can see
Yeah,
him yeah, get slain by alerts. Perfect.
exactly.
Yeah, so what are kind of some key points about Merlin Miniatures people need to take away here?
Sure, yeah. So the headlines are, that if you're interested in miniatures and exploring the hobby, there's no better place. So there's worldwide shipping for painting and miniatures, ship overseas. You can buy and sell as well. So if you've got a few minis that you want to get rid of, then come and sell them and make a bit of cash. And then there's over 50 to 100 items listed every day on the website. So there's tons of stuff you can hit up. And I guarantee you there'll be bits that you'll like. And then and then we also have kind of faction of the month as well. So we highlight there's a 20% discount on factions per month. So be it Orcs, which is going to be this month, and then we do Astra Militarum or Space Marines or wherever it may be. So there's factions of the month available with discounts. We also do creative spotlights as well. So we spotlight amazing artists in the hobby. And if you sign up to the mailing list, you get 15% off everything you want. And there's also loads of exclusive content. So there's blog articles, Warhammer knowledge quizzes, and all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
So there's loads going on there. So yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Yeah, maybe I undersold it when I said it's kind of just a mini shipping company. Cause yeah, there's so much other stuff going on. I love it.
Yeah, tons. Yeah, absolutely. There's loads. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's kind of Merlin Miniatures. It's cool. Go order some minis. Like I said, there might be some, you just hear that episode of Lorehammer and then you go order minis anyway. So just go use Merlin Minis and then you help out Gothic Garnish. So that's always a good time. Yeah, I think that's that. Closing shoutouts. I always hate intros and outros, to be honest. You got to come up with something, but it's that time, folks. outros. James, thanks for joining me. It was really cool talking about AI and Gothic Garnish with you. Like you said, man, it's so cool to just finally be able to see these things. I I'm 35 now or something like that, and I've been doing this since I was 11. And I just remember being that 11-year-old boy
Mm.
when we're looking at like, N64 graphics. Like, what would this look like? And like, oh man, playing tap.
Yeah.
It's so cool to finally be able to see it.
Yeah, no, for sure, and like it's like Lawhammer was one of the reasons how why I got back into the hobby so much as I did. So I owe you guys a lot. So it means a lot to be on the show. So thank you so much for your time, and thanks to all your listeners as well for having me on and let me talk about AI.
Yeah, man, very cool. So that's that. If you want to hear more of me ramble, go check out Lorehammer Listen to Our podcast. And don't forget to join the Patreon. Throw us a buck. That's always helpful. And go buy some minis. Do yourself a favor. Just spend some money. You'll feel better afterwards. All right, James, thank you so much. Real pleasure. And hopefully we'll have you on a main episode at some point.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Mark. Cheers, mate.